Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Thursday, the 7th of March. Well, fine, we've had a decent day. It should have been much better. The 40 to 1 chance should have placed in the last. Again, a decent ride, but it weren't good enough. And I didn't take the bigger cash out. And I didn't get 16 to 1 on Fox Flame. I got 6 to 1. So it didn't quite work out for me. It returned £75 in the end. I could have took a cash out of £134. So what could have been a brilliant day wasn't a brilliant day. What could have been a very good day with a £134 cash out could have been good. But in the end, I got the worst case scenario, which is £75. But I'm still happy with that. Right, bit of excitement there. So do me a quick favour. Let's get the luck momentum building for Cheltenham. So if you can give me a like for luck, it sounds a bit cheesy or corny, but anyway. So Borat Shemedadili has already put in the comments, as active as ever, has put in the comments about Leknidav or something like that. I would fancy that horse if it had ran okay on a recent reappearance, but it hasn't ran yet. It has run well fresh, but I'm not one for taking running well fresh as a given. So I would need to see it have a run. If it had only run okay, I probably would have selected it, but it hasn't ran recently. But I do think it's off a winning mark. It's just that is fitness on its side? I don't know. It's taken on trust. Anyway, back to Charlie's selections. So here we are. I've gone for all these selections are interesting without anything really thinking like, right, I really fancy this one. I like the look of them and that's it. So what I've gone for is, there's some tasty prices, but I think there's some of them could be even bigger. So I've had a 5p each way lucky 63 and I've taken all the prices. I've also had a 5p each way lucky 63 and left all the prices apart from the last selection. So let me get into it. So the first selection is Ashan at 22 to 1 in the 2:05 at Carlisle, paying 4 places instead of 3. This one is an old boy. However, it's also a stone out of the handicap, but it's actually running not too bad. It's ran over course and distance in the past in a better grade in a class 4 and ran okay. I'm not familiar with the jockey. I might be getting confused with the jockey, but I think it's Heidi Palin, or she's certainly on one of the horses for tomorrow anyway. But I think if it runs a decent race, it could sneak a place, and 22 to 1 or possibly bigger could be interesting. It's not a confident selection; it's more of a hopeful selection. The second selection is Bay. At 20 to 1 in the 3:20 at Lingfield, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse has got a lot to find, but by far its best run was on its reappearance at, I think it might have been Kempton, but it doesn't matter. It ran a cracker last time out. By far and away its best racing post rating since its like career started, 6 or 7 runs. It's got a lot to find still. But I find it very interesting that Josh Bryan has ridden this horse all the time. So he must be giving feedback, thinking maybe it could sneak a place in this listed stakes. I don't know, but I do think they think a bit of something about it. It will be running on late, and I think 20 to 1. It also, I think it came third last time. Well, I do believe that the second horse won this evening. I think it was called Media Guest or Media something. Probably not Media Guest, because I think that one's trained by George Margerson, but it's Media something trained by Carl Burke. It won tonight. I watched it. Won quite cosily. Well, this horse finished right behind it, giving it £3. It still needs to improve on that form, but it could sneak a place. The next selection is Braze River at 14 to 1 in the 4:20 at Carlisle. There are at least two horses that have won in this race, but they're carrying penalties. on soft ground at Carlisle, and straight away that makes them vulnerable. This isn't one of them. I think it's only ran twice on over hurdles. It ran an average race first time, and the second time it ran, I think it did a racing post rated at 93. That's enough to probably see it finish in fourth place. So we're going to need one of the first three in the betting to not run the race. Well, given those penalties for winning, I think they could be vulnerable. So this horse could. Hold on, I'll just. Sorry, this horse could sneak a place once again. They're only paying first three. The fourth selection is Easter Island at 9-2 in the 5:30 at Newcastle, paying 4 places instead of 3. You'd think this would be the nap, but I can't give a nap, even though it's much shorter price than the rest. This horse has basically had, it's probably had 50% of wind operations to runs. I think it's had like 3 wind operations. Don't get me wrong, I'm joking really. It's had about 10 runs in total, 10, 11. But it's had 3 wind operations. But this is the first time, I think, that this horse has strung 3 runs together without having a wind operation. Yeah, this is how dodgy this selection is. But it went from Julie Camacho to Brian Ellison. Well, Julie Camacho has also got one in this race. And it's wide open, if I'm being honest. But I think this horse, if it's over its breathing difficulties or whatever they were, you'd guess the breathing difficulties, the fact that it was a wind operation. But it could be potentially be better that, because also I think it's 3 wind operations. You'd think like, hold on, is this horse meant for this game? So I think there's a bit of potential there. Brian Ellison, decent train, especially at Newcastle on the all weather. I think it's got a chance, and the fact that, like I say, it's ran 3 runs without needing a wind operation, that's how desperate I am in this race. So I've gone for a horse that's ran 3 times, and I like the look of it because it hasn't had a wind operation since. So, yeah, crikey. Roll on Cheltenham. The next selection is Ginini at 17-2 in the 6:30 at Newcastle, paying 4 places instead of 3. This trainer is on fire. It's a yard debut for this horse. It ran its best race in a very long time just before it left Laura Mongan's stable. Bearing in mind, I am remembering all this from memory. All these little descriptions. So that's worth a like, surely. Anyway, Ginini. The trainer, I think it's 10 runners, 7 have won. And I think we did get one of them. I think so, anyway. And they're also, these colours win an awful lot for James Owen as well. So it's first time visor. Well, it's quite interesting it's first time visor because its best run so far was last time in first time blinkers. Well, you think you'd keep with the blinkers, but obviously I'm guessing James Owen might have seen something that has switched the headgear for some reason. I've no idea. But I wouldn't normally go for horses that run in first time headgear, but I just can't dismiss the stable form. I like the angle where it's changing stables, especially when they seem to have gone or have been relatively flat for a while. But it's quite interesting the fact that it left Laura Mongan's stable. It did its probably best run for a very long time. So it's quite interesting, that is. And finally, right, I have only gone for this horse because I would kick myself if I left it out. Mutabahi is one of my horses to follow. I understand it's rated, I think, something like 43. It's the outside of the lot. Do I think it should be at the outside of the lot? No, I think it's outside of the lot because it's based on its last run. I think this horse absolutely hates Southall. However, I do think it also doesn't want 6 furlong. It's running over 6 furlong at Newcastle tomorrow, but I can't ignore it and I can't leave it out. I think Mutabahi wants 5 furlong drawn high at Newcastle and a rattling pace. The other horse I'm following was supposed to be running at Lingfield on Thursday as well. That was Coast. So I don't think I can't find it anyway. It's not entered, and I would have fancied it if Coast had been drawn low, but obviously it's not even running, so we don't know yet. But Coast needs 6 furlong in a poor race, drawn low, and it needs to be able to be. It needs to be able to dominate. So I'm looking out for those selections. If you can help me by looking out for them as well, Mutabahi over 5 furlong at Newcastle, and Coast over 6 furlong, I believe, at Lingfield with a low draw. Let me know. So the very best of luck. Leave me a comment if you will. Keep it small stakes. Let's wait for Saturday, then Cheltenham, and then the Midlands Grand National on the Saturday after Cheltenham. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.